Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. This is me editing this video right now, and as a result of editing the video I've noticed that there was a couple of key points that I missed out in the initial video, and that was that this tent is now obsolete. It is a 10-year-old tent, as I did state in the video, and I went shopping yesterday, had a look in a few camping shops, and it is now obsolete. So if you're looking to buy this tent brand new, then I'm afraid that second-hand may be your only option. And also as well, the reason why I was using this tent was purely down to the fact to see if it was a viable alternative to my Quechua Air Seconds 4.1 for an upcoming camping trip. So there we go. Hope you enjoy the video. Welcome to my garden. Again, yeah, at the moment I'm still looking for another dog to adopt, so I need to be close to home in case one does appear. I can fill out the adoption papers really quickly. So yeah, another garden camp, but in this one we're going to be using the Hi Gear Voyager Elite 4, a tent which I've owned for 10 years, and out of those 10 years, it's been in the loft for 9 of those 10 years. I know, it's kind of disgraceful, isn't it? Anyhow, the reason why it's been in the loft for 9 of those 10 years is because when I first purchased it, I realised actually how incredibly tricky it is to set up. The cross-section poles, coupled with the weight of the tent, means that realistically you need somebody inside to hold the weight as you thread the poles through and locate them into the location pins. And for me, being a lone traveller, that's not exactly easy to do. So this video is kind of part one of, can I set this up on my own? And two, is it going to be a better alternative to the Quechua Air Seconds 4.1, which I normally use, which is a tent which can go up in 20 minutes, got 3 inflation tubes, 10 minutes, boom, up. Great. So yeah, it's there's a few question marks on here. I will be staying out here for a couple of nights. I'm going to be trying out a couple of little bed alternative ideas, and because this is such a large tent than my usual hiking tents, I think I can have a little bit of luxury on this one. So yeah, that's what this video is all about. And here it is, all 16.85 kilos of it, and yeah, I can feel every single kilo of it. It's a pole design, it's got a cross-section pole, so it's got a lot of sturdiness in the wind, but I say, it is quite heavy, and I'm really not sure if this is actually going to work setting up on my own, but it's going to take up pretty much every inch of this garden space. So without further ado, time for me to set it up, at least try and set it up. Now, another reason why I'm going to be setting this up tonight is because I'm going to be going away soon for a one-night stay with a friend for my birthday, and maybe this might be a better alternative to the Quechua 4.1, because obviously with 2 people going, it's going to make setting up a lot easier. I really can't remember. It's been nearly a decade since I last used this. There is a Voyager Hi Gear 6 as well, but when we saw that one, we realised that we just couldn't fit it on the lawn, so we couldn't practice it setting up and pitching down, and I don't even know if I got it around the right way. This is heavy work. Yeah, we got it around the right way. It's huge. It's huge, but it's practically brand new. It seems a shame. Oh, come on. I think what I need to do is prop it up from inside somehow. Oh, it's got one of these mesh doors. Okay. It's definitely a better thing. Stay there. I think I need to lay down and a cup of coffee after this. Again, I'm only pegging them out loosely. I do believe this one's got 2 doors. As I say, decade of not using it. It pours the rain tonight and it leaks. I know why I damaged it. Now the sun's come out. I've had to change because I've been out for the morning. I've been up to a couple of garden centres. So now is the time to sort the bedding out. I must say apologies about the background sound. I think somebody's trimming their hedge. Anyway, for bedding, I'm going to have a double bed because I've got this huge tent. I'm going to be sleeping out here on my own for maybe 1, more likely 2 nights. And I thought, you know, I've got this extra room. Why not use it? It'd just be a waste otherwise. So I'm using my Quechua Camp Bed Air 70. Now, these were purchased 3 years ago and the design has changed very slightly. I think they're a little bit longer. But the beauty of these is the fact you can either have them a single or you can clip them together to make a double. And I've also got the Sims to go on top of these to reinforce that base and then put a double air bed on top. So I've got a double bed for tonight, which is going to be absolute heaven. So I'm going to take it out and then roll it out, and then we've got a nozzle to inflate with. And for this, I could use my flex tail gear pump here, but it'll only take it up to a certain pressure. So I'm going to save that for now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to inflate it using this Quechua air pump, which I use for the Quechua Air Seconds 4.1. Make sure that the seal is aligned perfectly and on tight. I'm going to inflate that. Now, whilst I'm doing that, I've got my double air bed, which is here. This is a Euro hike one. I hope it's the double. Oh no, it's a single. No, it might be a double. It's a double. It's a double. It's a double. It's been so long since I've used them. So whilst I'm inflating this, I'm going to be inflating this using the flex tail pump just to give me a bit of a head start, and I can add the extra pressure in with the air pump that I've got here. It's going to be quite noisy. So that's inflating over there on its own, and then I can effectively, I hate the term, but kill 2 birds with 1 stone. That'll do. Sorry if I can hear my breath. It really is scorchio in here. So that's the base done. I've got them linked together. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use a couple of sim mats. These are self-inflating mattress, again from Quechua, the Apenza Comfort 65. Yeah, I've used these before. Again, not for a long time, but they're okay. I think for me, what they do is, because they can zip together, it means that when you're using like a double bed, it just makes it a little bit more secure, the fact that they're not going to spread apart, the 2 bases. Again, I like the colour, the turquoise colour. Again, these are inflating. They do say self-inflating, but if you did that, you'd probably have to have a couple of shaves in between because it takes ages. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my flex tail gear pump again. Use that to inflate, just to speed up the process a bit. Again, 2 of these, 2 of everything. And what's what I like about this system as well is the fact that if I wanted to go single, I've got the single option. If I wanted to get a double, I've got that option as well. And then you've got a zip in the middle, which is brilliant for when you want to do a double bed and you want to make sure the fact that one half's not going to go sailing across the other side of the tent at night. There we go. Now that's there, and then we've got these elastic cords at the 4 corners, just to make sure that everything is secured in place. And another one there. That's added quite a lot of height. And then can just bring those corner elastics over the corner of the bed. Slide down over there. And all that's left now is sleeping bags. Well, good evening. Just gone about 9:20 at night. Darkness has fallen. We just had a huge, mega huge rain shower. I'm kind of expecting to see drops from the ceiling. After setting this up this morning and thinking that there was a tear or two at least, it was incredibly tricky to set up, but I'll talk to you more about that in a moment. So my history with this tent and myself, and the reason why I haven't used it in a good 8 or 9 years is because of the fact that I saw the Voyager, the Hi Gear Voyager 6 on campsites years and years ago. And I was like, oh, wow, look at that. That looks amazing. And you do, when you kind of go to campsites, you probably look at others' tents and you kind of window shopping. And you see a tent that kind of appeals, you go, ooh, I like the look of that. I'll have a quick sneaky look and see the name. And then you go and look at it online and yeah. So we looked at the Voyager 6 and it was incredible. And it was at Go Outdoors at the time. Had a look at it and I was like, oh, wow, this looks amazing. Really want this. The size is incredible. But we looked at the sides of it and we looked at the sides of the garden. Now, I like to use the garden for several reasons. One, I like to practice setting the tent up so that if the weather's bad when you get to a campsite, I know exactly how the tent's going to go. I know how to set it up. And if, with a little bit of practice, if the weather is bad, like it's blowing a bit of a gale, then, you know, you've had the practice in order to deal with that. And also as well, in the summer months, I hate the heat. I absolutely hate the heat. So when you're walking upstairs, heat rises. It kind of feels like you're walking into an oven. So in the hotter months, whenever I can, I try and put a tent out on the garden and sleep out here because it's a lot cooler and fresher. And that's why I like camping out in the garden. At the moment, it's because I'm looking for a dog and I put 4 applications in the last 3 days for dogs. So that's why I'm campsite camping. But back to the Voyager. So we got the Voyager, purchased it, and we've got the carpet, everything, and then I realised actually how tricky it was to set up. And I've got tents now that where the beams cross over, and this is the problem with this one. It's the fact that there's so much weight in the fabric that when you've got the cross section, there's a lot of stress, a lot of strain, and when you're trying to lift that, especially on your own, it's very, very tricky, and you are conscious in the back of your mind that something could rip and you could put a lot of tension on. You sort of see the poles being taking the weight as you try and lift it up, and you're just thinking it's going to snap, it's going to snap. And realistically what you want is somebody else with you to go inside the tent and then just support it from underneath as you're threading the poles through, that they're just pushing up gradually and slowly, so you put it into the locating pins in the corners. Job done. But for me, I predominantly travel on my own, and on the very rare occasion other people go with me. So it kind of got put in the loft. After seeing that, I was like, kind of, okay, it didn't quite work. Then went out and purchased the Hi Gear Enigma 5, which is a 3-pole design, as opposed to this, which I believe is 5 poles. And that's a tunnel tent. But I'll probably put that up next week. So that's been put up in the loft. Both of these tents have been put up in the loft for a good 8-9 years. And I subsequently bought the Quechua Air Seconds 4.1 Fresh and Black. And that's air beam tent, and that's incredibly easy to set up. And I've used that ever since. Whenever I want to use a big tent, took the Quechua Air Seconds 4.1. Great, no problem. I can put it up in 10 minutes. Great, easy peasy. Love it. I put this up today predominantly because I've got my birthday in a few weeks' time. And I'm going to be going to a campsite with a friend, my mate James, that I've known since literally little tiny kids. And I want a tent that we can both use. I booked the campsite, paid for it, and I want a tent that we can both sleep comfortably in. Neither one of us are spring chickens. I'm going to be doing my live feed at 7 o'clock from it. And we want a tent that's kind of big enough that we can, you know, have a few beers in, have a bit of a laugh, probably sit round together, a little bit like this. So I've got a choice of 3 tents, the Quechua Air Seconds 4.1, this, the Voyager 4, and then I've also got my Enigma 5. And I'm just testing them to see which one is suitable and which one I can use. Obviously, I'm going to be going with my friend James, so he can help me set it up. But at the moment, the other downside, which I wasn't kind of thinking of, and bear in mind we're heading into late May, is the fact that when I came in here earlier, it was like a greenhouse. It was boiling hot, absolutely boiling. Not only was it difficult to set up, but boiling hot. Now you got the Air Seconds 4.1, the fresh and black. And wow, that white exterior really does reflect a lot of the harshness of the sun. And this being a sort of royal blue, yeah, you kind of feel like you're sleeping in a greenhouse. Now this has got a blackout bedroom, as you can see here. Now, that's great, but why would you have a blackout bedroom? You certainly don't need it for night, because obviously it's dark. So you have that for the day, but the trouble is, because it's like a darker material, you're kind of absorbing the heat that's out there, the sun. So it's hotter in here than it is outside. And you're in bed in a darkened bedroom, but you can't sleep because it's too hot. So, yeah, not good, not good. I like the tent, but I just think it falls short in a few areas. And it's a shame. It's a shame, but tent designs have moved on a little bit in the last few years, and there was other options out there, but I'm just going to be going on from the ones I've got and seeing what's best and suits my situation. Anyway, I babbled on for far too long. I'm really tired. I'm going to go to bed, and I shall catch it in the morning. But it is nice to see it up again. I was setting it up, and I was going, wow, this looks brand new. It really looks like it's just come out of the factory. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to bed. Good night. Good morning, everybody. It's just gone about 6:10 in the morning. I slept okay. Middle of the road. Not the best, not the worst. Only woke up because of the bird song. Yeah, right. So I'm using the Jetboil Mini Mo again. And again, I lost my little pouch, so I've had to use a bit of kitchen paper to keep it done. I've got my Jetboil X cups. I did say these X mugs in one of my recent videos. X cups, which are a little bit smaller. One is for the milk and sugar, the powdered milk and sugar, and then the other one is to put the coffee bag in. And then I've got my Sea Summit X mug, which is a bit bigger. There is a size difference. And that's what I'll be ultimately drinking out of. So I'm going to put the coffee bag, which is a Taylor's coffee bag. You know, oh, the smell of coffee there. Oh, that is just beautiful. Put that in there for now. And then I have got my stabilizer. The only thing I just realised I haven't got is the gas. I'm going to go get it. Yeah, this was the biggest one to hand. This is a 500 size, the biggest one they do. Just clip that into this pot stabilizer. For safety, I've got the side door open to allow some ventilation to come in. Last thing I want is a build-up of carbon monoxide. And then put some water into the Jetboil. Not too much, just enough. Lid back on. And the part that I'm always bothered about is the little cup at the bottom. There, let's open the gas, fire it up. And put the Jetboil on top. That's incredible. The Jetboils do impress me. I know they cost a lot of money. But they are good, and I think you are going to save, ultimately, over a long period of time, I might add, you are going to save a little bit of money with the gas. I would be interested in the Jetboil Flash. Breaking news. I would be interested in the Jetboil Flash. And again, the reason is for pure curiosity. But I have the Minimo, I have the Jetboil Zip, and to be fair, realistically, I think I need to look at my sleep system before I look at another tent or a Jetboil Flash to spend my hard-earned money on. There we go. Right, I'm going to let that brew for a little while. I'm just agitating it at the moment, and then I'm going to sit back and drink that for a little while before watching the coronation. So I'll catch you once all this is brewed. I'm back out and gone. Just watched a couple of hours of the coronation, just to watch a little bit of history being made, and back out with the beds in the Voyager 4. Now, last night was a reasonably good night. I'm using the Camp Bed Air 70 and the two Apenza Comfort 65s over the top, zipped together, makes a nice double bed, which means I can lay on it spread out, and I could sleep on it just like this. However, it's a little bit too firm for me, if I'm honest. Just a personal taste, I know. But last night I kind of went a little bit overkill and put a double air bed over the top, and I thought, yeah, I'll put that on and it'll give me the height that I would like, which would be nice. And it means I could spread out. I could literally just, legs out like that. I could do anything. I could do star shapes, whatever. Thing is, I didn't really move about that much. And the only times I did move was kind of micro adjustments. And every time I did that, it kind of creaked because the base of the airbed is vinyl. And that makes a kind of really horrible creaking sound, which is very disturbing when you're trying to sleep. So back to square one. We're going to start off realistically with the Camp Bed Air 70 and the two Apenza Comfort 65s. And I know what a lot of you are thinking, well, Paul, you can sleep out here with a pad, but yes, I know. But for this one instance, I fancy just a little bit of luxury. It'd be nice, just once. I mean, I'll go back to just using a pad in future. But for this one instance, I fancy having a bit of a double bed. It's a bank holiday weekend after all. So with all this is a little bit too firm for me. I'm kind of left with one option. And that one option is my U-Sport pad. Now, I use this so often, every weekend in fact, I don't even roll it up into its normal stuff sack. It's literally a third of this size normally, but there's no point me rolling it up when I know I'm going to be using it a week later. Now, it's got no thermal insulation properties, and it's discontinued, which I'm really sad about because it's incredibly comfy, and also as well, it's very reliable so far, touch wood. I mean, this thing, I absolutely love this.
Oh, that's nice. I love you too, Paul.
Oh, bless it, it loves me too. So yeah, I'm going to inflate this now, and I'm going to use the same old method of the Flextail Gear Max 2020 pump. Inflate that. And yeah, I'm going to place that on top, then I'm going to use my double sleeping bag again. So I've got the comfort of this, so I can make my little micro adjustments. Hopefully it won't creak. But then I've also got the space inside the sleeping bag just to spread out. I maybe turn around and just do Swan Lake in bed. I don't know. Anywho, inflate. Rise. Oh boy, is it now raining quite heavily. It looks like it's going to be coming in for a little while. Anyhow, I've been outside for one reason, and that is to get this. My loo. I need a loo. Now, this is great. Essentially, it's a bucket with a seat. So we've got our traditional lid, and then we've got our seat. And then inside that, we've got our, bucket, basically, because it's got a handle. And that's where you kind of leave your deposit. Yeah, I'll leave that to your imagination. So this is basically just a little frame. Look. I'm in the toilet. Not a sight you want to see. Now, this has actually got reasonably sharp edges, so I want to protect the floor. I did actually look for my picnic rug, but it's covered in mud. So what I'm going to do is use one of these little floor mats just to protect the base of the tent. I can fold it over a couple of times, because if I'm going to be sitting on it, then yeah, it could do a little bit of damage. So now I've got like a space toilet. Yeah, there we go. Don't forget to put the bucket back in, because if you don't put the bucket back in, then you've got one mess on your shoulders. Put that back in, and then don't forget the all-important loo roll. Or, yeah. Anyway, put it on there, put it in the corner, job's a good one. Well, good morning. It is Sunday, and I'm going to make a statement which is probably going to make some of you go, what? And that statement is purely this. In all the years that I've been doing camping, this bed setup, this sleep system, whichever way you want to call it, is by far and away the most comfortable sleep system I've ever used. It is the luxury version. It is not for wild camping, granted. It's not going to be for everybody. However, I can categorically say with hand on my heart that right now I've never felt more comfortable in bed anywhere than what I have right now. And that includes my king size bed that's in the house right now. And I mean that. Hand on heart, right now, I feel like I am laying on a cloud and just ready to drift off. And yeah, I know this has got the base, the Quechua base, the Camp Bed Air 70. I know it's got a slightly different name now, the one that's on sale. This one's a little bit older, but and then you've got the Apenza Comfort 65. Again, I think the name may have changed. I'll put them all on screen for you. And then I've got the U-Sport pad on top. Now, the U-Sport pad, when I go wild camping, is comfortable enough as it is. Granted, it's got no insulation properties, no R value. But it's incredibly comfortable and ultimately, so far, so good, reliable. And a combination of all those together just makes this the best sleeping experience I think I've ever tried. And along with the pillows, I've spoken these so many times, how much they are, how good they are, the Quechua foam pillows. And I use them on my bed. I literally just bring them out of the house and bring them out here. And if I go camping, they go with me. But even them, again, the comfort level is just off the chart. Off the chart. I just want to sleep here and lay here all day and listen to that bird song. But I know I've got to get on. I've got things to do. But wow. Wow. Oh, this is just, yeah, I mean, I can stretch out. I mean, I didn't set out to stretch out, but if I wanted to, I could. And I hate these sleep bags where you felt like you've got a second skin and you can barely move. But this, oh, heaven. And, you know, sleep's important because if you are going to be going somewhere and you're not going to be comfortable, then you're not going to have a good night's sleep, and then you're going to feel a bit groggy and a bit grumpy the next day. And that's going to affect your trip. So I think that next time I go away in a large tent, I am taking this setup with me because this is just off the chart. Period. Well, as you can see, this tent is humongous that even King Charlie would be happy with. It's huge. I've had a big clear out, took the bedding out. I've took the table, the chairs, everything out of here, the jet boil. Even the bedrooms are now out of here. And that gives this tent plenty of room to be able to breathe, get the air in, to circulate, to dry it. And this tent, I've got mixed feelings on in many respects. I've had a good think about it. The Sony ground sheet is awesome. The doors, a little bit of a trip hazard, both the front and the side doors, very high. You could easily trip over them. The colour blue is kind of absorbing heat rather than reflecting it. So it feels like a greenhouse when you come in here. And the blackout bedrooms are more of a shade than a blackout. You get in there, it's kind of a little bit duller in there, but it's not blackout. And that's a good thing and a bad thing, because the blackout tents, you can tend to find that you put your keys or your wallet down and you can't find them because it's so dark, you need a light to go on. Whereas in here, you can still see, which is good. So my feelings are mixed, but one thing my feelings aren't mixed on is if you subscribe to this channel and click on the bell icon to be notified of all future video releases. Got plenty more videos to come out. And at the moment, I am doing a lot of garden camping at the moment. That's purely down to my situation at the moment. We lost our dog in January. We're looking for another dog. I need to be close to home to be able to see it. But I've got plenty of campsite camping trips in the pipeline, plenty of wild camping trips that I want to be able to do. And that's all in the future. So I hope you come along for the ride and subscribe to the channel. I want to thank you very much for watching. Thanks very much for your company. And be sure to look out for the live videos, which are Saturdays at 7 o'clock. We do 3 live videos per month. So there we go. Take care, folks. If you're out camping, have a wonderful trip. And I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye for now.